Welcome back to PSC's TechPyth. Today we keep on talking about creating adaptive card extensions with SharePoint Framework. And specifically I want to explain you how to manage the state and the properties of an adaptive card extension. In fact, whenever you define an ACE with SPFx, you have to provide the state and the properties interface that will be used by the extension, as it happens for any other React component or any other SharePoint Framework component. The interesting part of the story when we are talking about adaptive card extensions is that those interfaces for the state and the properties are shared with all of the cards, I mean the card view and the quick views that you can have for an adaptive card extension. And the SharePoint Framework infrastructure will automatically bind those interface instances in order to share the same properties and the same state across the card extension and all of the cards that you have inside the adaptive card extension. So let me move to the demo environment and let me show you that in action. So here we have a SharePoint Framework solution where I created an adaptive card extension. And inside the adaptive card extension, as you can see, we have the configuration of the interface for the properties and of the interface for the state. And in my demo, I added a time string property to this state. Then, in the onInit method of my extension, I can say that the time will be initially the result of this getTimeString function, which will simply use the current date and time to define the formatted string with the current time. Then, still in the onInit method, just for the sake of explaining you how the state and the properties work, I configured a JavaScript set interval that every second will update the state of the adaptive card extension with the current time properly formatted. Simple as that. Then we have the card view. And in the card view, as you can see, we still use the same interfaces as before for the properties and for the state. And as such, when we render the card view in the getData method, we specify that the primary text of our primary text card will be the state.time, meaning that whenever the adaptive card extension will update its state, the card view will update the primary text accordingly. In the quick view, we do the same. So in the getData of the quick view, we have our own custom interface for the data, but we still have the properties and the state defined in the adaptive card extension, as well as we have the time property in the iQuickView data. Why? Because we want to configure the time value to this state.time as it was before in the card view, so that in the JSON template of my adaptive card, I want to render the time property of this interface inside the adaptive card that will be rendered in the quick view rendering. Now, if we take a look to the adaptive card in action, we can see that this adaptive card is updating the time every single second in the card view. And if I click on the quick view button, I can see that the time is now updating in the quick view as well. Notice that when SharePoint Framework is updating the state of the quick view, right now it is not updating the state of the card view. But, for example, in a mobile environment, this will not be a real problem because the user will just see the quick view and the card view will not be visible while using the mobile view. So, that said, you can easily see how it is simple to share the same state and actually the same properties across the quick view and the card view, using the state and the properties interfaces defined in the adaptive card extension. And everything will be managed under the cover by the SharePoint Framework backend infrastructure for you. Like always, thank you for watching this video. I hope you found it useful and I'm really looking forward to seeing you next week. And remember, subscribe to this channel. Thank you.